Hi everyone, I'm Iris Glass. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Author Talk. Today I have a huge treat for you. And by huge, I mean huge. Manly, rugged. I have author Edmond Manning for us today.
Hi, Iris. I just, first of all, wanted to say thank you for having me, and thank you for having me.
Oh, Edmond, I didn't realize you were thinking about it like that. I thought maybe in some of our correspondence before this interview, but I didn't realize it was more of a date. I would have been prepared. I don't have wine, but I do have some cooking marsala. That's close enough. I think I'll join you. After the interview, if you want to hang around, we could hop on Skype, and see where the moment takes us. Oh, well, maybe I was reading you wrong. We don't have to, anyway, let's move along. You're here for an interview. I believe you've written some books or something about Alcatraz, is it?
So, yes, I have written a series of books, which the series is called The Lost and Founds, and each of the books within it. Hang on a second. Excuse me.
Oh my. That is an impressive banana. Maybe I'm not reading things wrong.
So there's a number of books in it. King Perry is the first. King Maya is the second. The Butterfly King is the third book. The last book that just came out, King John, takes place at Burning Man. And the fifth book is coming out very soon in June or July. Gotta firm up the date. I decided, although the cover art was nice, I can do cover art myself. The fifth book is titled Come Back to Me, and as you can see, I'm gonna save a lot of money by not using a cover artist. I think this is, here you can see that it's two gentlemen, as noted by the top hat and the bow tie, and there's a love thing, and also the title, which readers find very helpful to be on the cover of the book. So that's the next book that's coming out, is Come Back to Me.
Oh, I wish I would have known you had copies. I wouldn't have had to pay for overnight shipping to get them here in time. Well, I guess I'll have to read them. Go ahead and tell us what they're about.
In each of the books, well, not Come Back to Me, but in the first four books, the narrator, Vin Van Vliet, meets what he calls a candidate, someone who he thinks he can help cross over into his kingship. And he makes this offer, which is, if you spend 40 hours with me, doing everything I say, following every whim, sexual, non-sexual, do everything, and I will help you remember who you were always meant to be. And each of the books chronicles his weekend with his 40 hours with each of those men. In the first book, part of the book does take place on Alcatraz, as you mentioned, Iris. They spend the night on Alcatraz, running around the island, hiding from the night guard, and sleeping in one of the spots where they think they're not going to be discovered. They break into the prison and go into one of the isolation chambers, and while they're there, well, it gets a little raunchy. It turns out that Vin has each of the books comments a little bit more on his relationship with Alcatraz in each of the books, so a little bit more is revealed over time, including in the book that's coming out, Come Back to Me, where Jerome and Vin discover each other's names for the first time. It might not mean much to folks who haven't read the series, but it'll be fun.
I'd like to learn your real name, Edmond Manning. I just think you are so sexy, so big and strong, and those big hands. I can just imagine what you do. Oh, my, well, that got creepy. Quickly. Let's move on, Edmund. Let's think of something easy. I know. What would you order at Olive Garden? What is your favorite thing to get there?
That's going to be tough to remember. I actually haven't been allowed in an Olive Garden since 1987. But I can tell you one of my favorite things to order from A&J's Chicken and Fish, which is a lot like an Olive Garden, except it's not Italian food. And they mostly just serve chicken and fish, and a lot of it's fried. But they have this thing called a Euro cheese fries. It's like a big basket of fries, a layer of melted cheddar cheese, and then just like Euro meat dropped on top by someone who doesn't care at all. And it's pretty much the best thing ever. If you're gonna watch, say, Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and cuddle into the couch for the night, you're gonna want to have some Euro cheese fries in your lap.
Oh, well, that's an image. Next time you'll have to invite me over. I'd love to help clean up all those cheese fries right off your lap. Was that a yes? I must say, you're sending mixed message, Edmund. I'm not sure what to think. Anyway, let's get rid of that. Let's move on again, I suppose. Not that I'm feeling this way, mind you. But who would you let punch you in the face?
Well, I actually have 3 answers for that. First of all, Dame Maggie Smith, for a number of reasons. She was amazing in the Harry Potter movies. She was amazing in Sister Act. She had an incredible long acting and stage career before that. Also, she's pretty old, and so I think if she punched me in the face, it wouldn't hurt that much. So there's that. Secondly, my mom, for various reasons, I think I owe her that. A really good punch in the face. And the third person who I'd let punch me in the face would be my future self. If I came back from the future and I had a good reason, or I was going to stop myself from doing something really dumb, I'd be like, oh my God, hey future self, what are you doing here? And future self would be like, what the fuck, bro? And I think under those circumstances, I would probably deserve it.
Well, that's original, I'll give you that. You're a strange one, Edmond Manning. I think I like that. Let's see. Oh, I know. If you could be a kitchen utensil, what utensil would you be?
Well, that one's obvious. Garlic press. Hello. Why wouldn't you want to be a garlic press? Garlic comes in, you squeeze it out, you get to smell like garlic all day. You're like heavy, someone could use a hammer. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer.
Oh, well, that definitely makes me reconsider what I would do to your lap with the cheese fries. Gross. Oh, but that does bring to mind. Tell me about your worst date. I'm assuming there wasn't garlic involved.
Yeah, well, this ought to be fun. When I was living in Chicago, I met this guy. We met through, I don't know, personal ad or something like that. And we met in this very fancy steakhouse for dinner. And over the course of dinner, he told me, we shared something in common, that we both dream a lot. And he shared over dinner that he dreams of being crucified a lot. A lot of his dreams are of him being literally nailed to a piece of wood. He said night after night, he dreams of being crucified. He doesn't think he wants to be crucified. He just dreamt this over and over a lot. That was alarming. The other alarming thing he said on our date was he worked in a bank as a manager of the vault where people lock up all their goodies and stuff like that. So he said to me, I said something like, oh, I bet you'd see a lot of interesting stuff down there. And he said, yeah, lots of things. He goes, I'm pretty sure I've seen some very illegal things. He said, I've seen a bunch of pictures that I know were a brother and sister who were in a relationship with each other, and they're being used to blackmail someone else. He said, I think I saw some stuff that is associated with a murder, but I don't know for sure. And he went on to list all kinds of creepy things he saw in his bank vault. So between the crucifixion dreams and all the stuff he had seen in his bank vault and the lack of conversation after that, not a great date. I don't think we had a second date.
Oh, brother and sister, lover, murderer. Huh? I honestly don't know what to say to that. Let's move on again. This is rough. Oh, I know. Just tell us your favorite and least favorite thing about being an author, please. Go ahead. Favorite and least favorite.
I'm starting a new project right now called Zacchaeus, and it's based on a Bible story in which there is a tax collector in town whose name is Zacchaeus, and he is excited to meet Jesus, but he's a short man, and so he ends up having to climb a tree to see Jesus. And Jesus stops and points at him in the tree and says, I'm going to have dinner with that guy. I'm going to hang out with him. And all the people are saying, you can't hang out with him. He's a tax collector. He's not one of us. And Jesus says, yeah, he is one of us. That's basically the short version of the Bible story. So the novel is going to be about their time together. What did they talk about over dinner? Why was Zacchaeus so desperate to see him? What did that mean? There's going to be a lot more to it than that, including a romance story in there as well. It's not going to be a 6-part book series, just one book. And what I love most about being a writer is I'm researching life in the time of Jesus right now and what it was like, what people ate, what their homes were like. And there's a lot of it we don't know. There's a lot of it that's just because city after city on top of city was built on top of each other, and so they don't really know. The best part about being a writer is making stuff up. Based on the limited research that is available, I can make up all kinds of stuff. I can make up the positions. I can make up the city. I've made up a city map of what I think ancient Jericho looks like, and where the gates were, and where the tax collector sat, and how he did his job. I love making stuff up. I love making up details that people will read and think to themselves, I don't know, this sounds like it could be true. So that's my very most favorite part. Least favorite part. That one is also easy to answer. Feelings of jealousy. I did not realize when I started writing and publishing how with most of my author friends, I'd be very excited about their success, and other times I'd just feel jealous and I'd feel icky inside. I don't like feeling jealous. I don't like the feeling of being happy for someone and then going, gosh, I wish that were happening to me as well. So that's one of the things that I think as a writer I need to look at and pay attention to. Let it come up when it comes up, and then do what I can to dissolve that feeling and acknowledge it. Each of us as writers have our own paths. But that's probably my least favorite part, is feeling jealous.
Jealous? Really? I just can't picture you being jealous, Edmond. With all the books you've written and how big and tall and handsome you are. Like a man of myth. A man of myth. That suits you well, Edmond. Let's go deep. Take this however you want. If you could be a mythical creature, what would you be?
I think I would want to be a bear. No, that's a bear. I don't think those are mythical.
Oh, sweetie, no. Bears aren't mythical. I thought you'd say something like a satyr or a randy giant. But no, Edmond, bears aren't mythical, dear. Are you sure you don't have a ghostwriter? It's a good thing you're pretty. I'm not sure how you wrote all those books. Oh, I'm sorry, dear. That wasn't very nice of me, was it? Well, I'll be nicer from now on, I promise. Let's go back to your books. Actually, you had a good idea. You have a bear, too, actually, on the cover of this book. I probably shouldn't have done that. And in this book, you chronicle some of your true life adventures, or things you shouldn't have done that most people know. I must say it's hilarious, but it begs the question, Edmond, what is the matter with you? Something has to be wrong.
So, Iris, you want to know what's wrong with me?
What's wrong with me? Nothing. You know what? Whatever I say, you're not going to believe anyway. I think for a question like this, like, what's wrong with you? I think it'd be better to get the unsolicited opinion of a total stranger who can validate that there's nothing wrong with me. So let's go. What's wrong with me? What kind of question is that? What's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with me. A lot of things wrong with me. Like, you want to know what's wrong with me? Fine. We'll get a second opinion. We'll get an opinion here. Hey, what's wrong with me? Turn around! I said, what's wrong with me?
Nothing.
Goddamn right there's nothing wrong with me. Face the wall! Well, there you have it, Iris. There's nothing wrong with me, as confirmed by a total stranger.
Well, it looks like we've lost Edmund's feed. I'm sure that other fellow is fine. Maybe Edmund's the brother. I'm sure everything is fine. I promise to do a better job vetting my guests from here on out. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Author Talk. I'll see you next time. Someone less crazy. Huh. Whew. Boy. Good. Dear God.